Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the Pacelli Coach Show, live here from the Beck Center, home of the Columbus Lions, too. Not only Pacelli Athletics, and I am with the head girls basketball coach, assistant AD, Brian Thomas. Brian, how you been, man?
Man, I've been good.
Listen, we've got to talk once, and obviously we're going to be a lot more frequent now that we're in region play here this month. But, Coach, you hadn't had many home games. We saw you against Hardaway, which was a fantastic game. You ended up winning that one. And we saw you against Russell County. That one went down to the wire. Your team is 7-3 right now. You played some tough teams. You've beaten teams like East Coweta. I think Griffin. Did you beat Griffin earlier this year as well? You've had some learning experiences, but you just literally had a game against Calvary. You had 6 players, man. Yeah. So I was telling Corey Black, I'm like, you're really having to coach your tail off right now. How's the season going, and how do you feel about your team so far this year?
Season going. It's going good, you know. We don't know who we're going to dress out from game to game, you know, but it's been fun. It's been challenging, you know. We got kids that's been out, you know. You don't know how many you're going to have, but, I mean, we had a game where we had 5. We had to bring up a little 8th grader sub in at times, but, I mean, we're finding a way. That's the key. We're finding a way.
Well, Coach, let's talk about some of those key players that have stepped up big. KK Jackson has been playing really well. Jayla Kendrick. Been hitting shots from the outside. Right now you're without Kamora Jones and Grace Smith, but talk about some of those girls that have stepped up big, which are familiar faces. Jayla Moore and Zaniyah Crouch, seniors, and I've really been impressed with them so far this year, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, you know, not the same team it was the past 2 years, so, you know, we got to find new identity, which we have. You know, Jayla Kendrick has stepped up. She's probably averaging about 12, about 8, 9 rebounds a game. 2 or 3 blocks, you know, she's anchoring, you know, leading us. Kamora Jones, she's been out, but she's right there averaging 10, 11, 12 points. I mean, Jayla Moore, she's our X factor. Like, a lot of people don't really scout into her. Yep. But when they do, we always know we have a mismatch with her, and we try to put the ball in her hands to be a playmaker and a scorer. And, you know, Rebecca's making shots. Z is handling the ball. And then KK, you know, we're giving her a new role from the past 2 years, and she stepped up. And this year, we done had a different leader score every game.
Unbelievable, Coach.
Yeah, so we done had a game where we got 4 or 5 kids that's at between 12 and 8 points.
Well, Coach, let's talk about what you want to see moving forward with this team. Do we expect Kamora Jones? When is she going to return? How about Grace Smith? Are you expecting to add any future bodies, or is this looking like you're going to be going to battle a lot of nights 6, 7 deep?
Yeah, I mean, Kamora Jones, we expect her to be back probably this week or next week. We definitely need her as far as in our rotation, the things that she do for our team defensively and able to knock down shots. Going forward, just looking for more consistency, taking care of the ball, and then, you know, just us, you know, finding what is our real identity, you know?
Yeah. Well, Coach, you got coming up, right now you're on a 4-game winning streak. You beat East Coweta, also beating Hardaway, Calvary Christian. These are some big wins. You got Upson Lee, and then next week, 2 big-time region games against Westfield and Brookstone. How's this week of practice been? And then going on the road playing a pretty good Upson Lee team, Coach. It's like you and Calvin Thomas have got this national regional schedule playing all these top teams around, but the mindset is if I play elite teams during the season, when I get to the playoffs, I won't be shocked against other elite teams in the GIAA.
Yeah, so we just try to prepare our team for late in the season, be able to see a lot of different things, how I think teams will possibly play us, and then go back and watch practice, watch film, and then break it down and put our kids in a better situation so when they're on the court, they can recognize stuff and then they know what they're looking for.
Well, Coach, talk about how is it like with practice and the limitations and stuff to be able to get good looks. Like I know, I want everyone. I'm trying to paint the picture. I feel like it's been a challenging year for you, and yet you're 7-3, so ranked in the top 3 of the GIAA and one of the favorites to win it all. That's credit to you and how you built your program. But talk about some of the things that y'all have had to overcome, including practice. It's hard practicing when you only got 7 or 8 bodies, Coach, and there's 5. You need 5 players on each team.
Yeah, so what we have done is I record practice and go back and watch whatever we did as far as plays or whatever. And I created a scout team. Our scout team is made up of our middle school boys.
Awesome, man.
So they come in.
They give you good looks?
Give us our looks that we need, in which they enjoy, and I really appreciate that they're doing that. So I got about 5 or 6 middle school kids that come in when we need them. We'll have them in today to kind of go over a scout, so we can get the looks what we need. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are, So that middle school, the middle school kids that come in and help has really been beneficial for us.
Awesome. Is that something you took from Dawn Staley? Because I saw, and you probably didn't, Coach, but I saw a thing on ESPN where she's got these intramural guys. They come in and practice, and she says, listen, they get rings with the team. They were just as important. Do you feel like these middle school boys have helped give y'all some really good looks that help you get prepared for the game?
Yeah, and sometimes I got to pull them to the side and teach them how to do what we can simulate, what we're trying to simulate. But they've definitely been beneficial.
Awesome.
And they're athletic, so it's gonna give us the game speed that we need. It's been really beneficial for us having middle school, and I think the girls like it because now they get to actually see what I'm trying to show them versus when it's nobody there. It's open when nobody's there. But you put a defense there, it's a different look.
Right.
So it's been real good for us.
How excited are you to be back in the land next week? You got Westfield, and then you got Harris County. And then, thankfully, we have several more to end the season because it's been a long season on the road. So are you excited about, after Upson Lee, being back at the land next Tuesday against Westfield, a really good team in your region, Coach?
Oh, yeah, Westfield will be a good game. They're real solid, well coached. But being back in the land is good, but our mentality in the gym is home,
Right.
So if you have that mentality, it doesn't matter where we play. But to not have to get on the road is good. So we're excited to be in the land next week. We got Upson Lee tomorrow. We got to take care of business. Got practice today. So we'll start planning and getting ready for them.
Coach, thank you so much.
I
Look forward to seeing you next time on the Coaches Show, and good luck against Upson Lee. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got more here on the Pacelli Coach Show. I'm going to be with Athletic Director and Head Boys Coach Calvin Thomas. Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Be right back after this. Welcome back to the Pacelli Coaches Show, and I am with Calvin Thomas. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Coach. We were talking a little bit after the game against Calvary, the 2-6 start. It's been a rough go at it here early on, trying to, go through what was a tough gauntlet. Here's some of the schools: Griffin, Russell County, Douglas, Central, Houston County, and then 2 big-time schools out of Florida. What have you learned from your team early on, and how are you feeling now after that bounce-back win against Calvary, first win of 2026 to start the year off, the new year off good? How are you feeling about your team right now?
Listen, I'm loving my team. I'm loving the process. One thing I've learned is my kids are willing to show up every day and fight, and that's big. That's big in any program, any sport. Whenever you got kids to face adversity and they don't run from it, they come back and keep showing up, that tells a lot about the kid. That tells a lot about their parents. That tells us a lot about the environment.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. So, many people started questioning and saying, hey, Pacelli's down. What's going on with Pacelli? What was the mindset with the team heading into that game against Calvary, who has had a pretty good year to start the year so far, Coach? They 10-3 rank. If you look at the GIAA rankings, they were ahead of y'all going into this game. But your team came out focused, and the three-headed monster of Mackay, Matthew, and Michael Rowe really took over that game.
So we pretty much had the same mindset, far as how we prepare, what we do. As far as leading up to games.
Right.
We tweaked a few things, made a few adjustments, but the thing has always been the same. Every day we go out, we want to compete.
Right.
We want to compete, and that's all we're going to do every game. We're going to take every game as such, but we're going to come out and compete. So we as a family, as a team, we never got caught up in 2-6, because we needed that. We needed that. I told them, hey, this is a humbling process for us.
Yeah.
We need to be able to see what we got to fix, what we got to adjust, what we can work on. I just had the conversation with you. I don't need to play my best basketball in December and early January.
Yeah.
I want to play my best basketball in February and March.
Yeah.
And that's what the goal is.
And Coach, if you look at those losses, 7 points or fewer, a couple of them in overtime. It's finishing games.
Absolutely.
Is that what the biggest thing was after going down to Florida and having multiple games in which you had leads kind of falter down the stretch? It's like, listen, we're right there with some of the top teams in Florida and Georgia and Alabama. We just got to learn how to finish. So what's been the point of emphasis to get that better heading into region play now?
That actually has been the point of emphasis. Closing games. Like you said, we've been right there in every game, and we just crack at the end. So we put a lot of emphasis on closing games, and we put a lot of emphasis on consistency.
Yeah.
With when we do get these leads, or how should we maintain them? What should we do? Looks that we want to get into, sets we want to get into to kind of, so those are definitely have been point of emphasis of things we've been working on.
All right, let's talk about some of the other guys that need to step up. Arthur Jordan, Amari Smith. How do you feel like the guys, because, Rowe, Williams, and Melvin, man, these last 4 years, they're going to go, especially Williams and Melvin, they're going to go down to the winningest guys in the history of Pacelli basketball. They're trying to make their 4th straight state championship. So there's a standard of how they want to play. How do you feel like the other guys are falling into that standard of, hey, this is Pacelli, we're excellent, we play for state championships? You buy in or you get out, and it seems like you got guys buying in.
Absolutely. And then, too, one thing you got to realize, at the end of the day, they're still kids. So the adjustment period takes a little longer for them.
Right.
So
these are new guys.
Absolutely.
Weren't even in the program last year.
Absolutely. So they're coming along well. Look, I'm proud of their improvement, and they're steady taking on the challenge as well, just adjusting to what we do at Pacelli, how we do. Even games we play. Like I was telling them, a couple of times I had to pull them to the side. They were holding their heads down. There's no need to hold your head down. You listen, we're going for a bigger goal.
Right.
And we got to keep staying on, keep staying to the mission, and it'll get completed.
Coach, you got Sandy Creek ranked number 1 in 3A, Carver ranked top 3 in 2A. You got Prattville out of Alabama, one of the top schools over there. Those are some still Hazel Green out of Alabama, Tanner. Those are both on the road. You got several tough games, plus your region opponents. But how do you maintain your guys knowing that, listen, we want to win against Tanner and Hazel Green, but in the end, Westville, Brookstone, Strong Rock, Calvary, those are some of the more important games, especially in terms of seeding and stuff like that. So how do you keep your guys focused and getting through this tough gauntlet to prepare you for the playoffs?
Basically, we just stick to the script. We stick to what we do. We preach what we preach, and we keep the main thing the main thing. One thing we always try to do is just keep the consistency with our kids. Kids at young ages, they need consistency.
Right.
They don't need a lot of moving around, so we try to keep it consistent as possible. And we just keep doing what we can to help kids to be better people. Like I told them, one of the biggest things, we had the 2-6 cloud over us.
Right.
And you had people asking, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You know what we did? We went down to Valley Rescue Mission and served. That's what we did. Because we're going to keep the main thing the main thing.
Right.
And that's what I preach to my kids, just consistency. We're fine. We just got to keep believing, and most of all, got to keep working.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Well, Coach, we're excited about it and looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. We will see his team on Georgia Alabama Sports Live against Westville next week, but good luck on the road against Tanner and Hazel Green, and looking forward to talking to you again here on the Pacelli Coach Show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Coach Calvin Thomas. This is the Pacelli Coach Show, presented by the Beck Center, live from the Beck Center. I want to say thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.